Hey guys, welcome back to California Cooking. On today's episode, we have so much delicious food headed your way. We have pot pie, deep dish pizza, grilled cheese, apple cobbler, and so much more. First up, I get to hang out with a husband and wife duo who've opened up the most unique spot in the valley. Then I make for you a spring veggie pot pie that is sure to hit the spot. And he says it's the best deep dish pizza in LA. Mark Mester is taking us to his favorite pizza joint. First up, he's a chef, she's a pastry chef. They're married and they're business partners, and they are taking on the culinary world, one restaurant opening at a time. I spent the afternoon with this lovely couple, Phillip, Frankland Lee, and Margarita Kallas-Lee. Take a look. I am with the dynamic married duo. How are you guys?
I'm great. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I don't know how many married couples are in the business together. Is it a common thing?
It is a common thing. I think it's even more of a common thing to have a chef, pastry wife. A chef, pastry chef.
Pastry chef wife.
Duo, yes.
Right. Yeah. So you guys have been married 7 years. Almost. You were saying almost.
Yeah.
Did you meet in the food world?
We met in middle school.
You're kidding.
No.
Yeah, middle school.
No, just right down the street.
No way. So have you been sweet on each other since middle school?
No, not quite.
It took about a decade before
Yeah.
we started dating.
Yeah.
When we started dating, I had just taken my first sous chef job. I was on the schedule from open to close 7 days a week.
Right.
And so we used to have dates by I would invite her to the restaurant at midnight, and all day I would secretly prep. And when everyone would go home, I would unlock the doors and then unlock the back door, and then she'd come and sit down with a friend in the kitchen in the restaurant, and then I would do like a 5-course menu for them.
You guys are so cute. That is the sweetest thing. Did that win you over, Margarita? What a sweet thing.
Right away. Yes.
You know what you're doing. What was the first restaurant you guys opened?
We opened Scratch Bar back in 2013 in Hollywood.
Okay.
And then we moved it from Hollywood to our apartment. And then we moved it from our apartment to Beverly Hills. And then for the first time, we got a lease in our name here in Encino.
So why did you decide to do it in this way at a strip mall in Encino?
First of all, I grew up in the Valley, so there is nothing taboo about the word strip mall to me.
Yeah.
Restaurants are in strip malls. But really, it's the venue.
So tell us how it works.
So we actually have 3 leases here. And so we have Scratch Bar, which is an unmarked door that has a doorbell. And all it says is, please ring for service. You ring the doorbell, somebody will greet you, bring you into the bar. And there's a bartender and a chef who basically will sort of help you pregame before we take you into the kitchen.
I love a restaurant where you can sit and watch the action.
I mean, there is no dining room here. The entire restaurant is the kitchen.
Yeah.
After we bring you into the kitchen, we then start you with a edible cocktail, which is not included in the courses, and then you do about anywhere between 15 and 17 additional courses. It ends up being between 22, 25 courses at the end of the day. A lot of truffles, Japanese Wagyu.
And a lot of desserts.
A lot of desserts.
Then we opened a cocktail bar next door, specifically so that after you're done here, you kind of,
You
mosey on.
roll people out of here
roll-
after they're 17.
I mean, it's a lot of food, but you don't leave here in pain.
Yeah. What an experience, because this is more than going to dinner. I mean, this is kind of you're watching a show.
There is no service staff. There's about 12 to 13 chefs in the kitchen. We like to think of this as, we call it workshop style service. It's not what can I get you, it's we're excited to share this with you.
Where'd you get the idea for a concept like this?
I grew up, sushi's my favorite thing. I wanted to be a sushi chef since I was 13 years old. This really is a sushi bar where we cook most of the food.
Yes. Speaking of sushi bar, you also walk in here and there's another little hidden door where you guys have a sushi restaurant that I've read people have said it is the best sushi that they've ever had.
We've been really lucky to have the response that we have.
What's it called?
It's called Sushi Bar. It is literally, it's 8 seats. It's similar to Scratch Bar. There is no menu. It's an omakase, but I call it an omakase-inspired tasting menu. So it's 17 courses of nigiri.
Okay.
But the progression is more in line of a tasting menu.
You guys are thinking outside the box. And I heard you want to open 100 restaurants at some point.
Yes, he does.
And you're like, slow down.
My goal's 100 by the time I turn 50. We are well on our way at this moment.
I hear you're making something today that that you love
Oh, I
in
love
particular?
Phillip loves apple cobblers.
And then you've got your eye on that fire over there. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I'm just gonna grill up a ribeye.
Look forward to it. What's going on back here?
I just got a little bit of a dry aged ribeye. When I'm going directly into fire, I like to use olive oil. If I go into a pan, I do not use olive oil. I use canola oil. For a ribeye of this size, I go pretty
Heavy on the salt.
You need to sort of paint the whole thing. Then for this, I've got 100% almond wood here. You want to do what's called temper. You don't want to be cooking a cold piece of meat. You want to cook a room temperature piece of meat. So I'm going to go right into the fire here. And I'm going to, you see I've sort of have 3 different levels, tiers built. I'm going to start on the hottest, and then I'm going to switch to the middle, and then I'm going to go up to the top. And then once I go up to the top, I'm going to add the vegetables into the middle so that as I'm roasting the vegetables...
Oh, it drips down onto
Yeah, the fat's going to be dripping onto the veggies. I'm just going long enough to get myself just the beginning of a sear. I mean, you can smell. It doesn't smell, you know, it doesn't smell burnt. It smells delicious,
smells
right?
Great.
In the meantime, I'm just going to get started on some veggies for us. So again, extra virgin olive oil. I like to go very liberal with the olive oil. Good amount of salt, good amount of olive oil, and then black pepper. So yeah, I just got a little bit of her butter on top and just a little bit of fresh thyme, a little bit of wild thyme, just sort of sit there.
So maybe while we let the steak cook, Margarita's gonna do her cobbler.
Let's do that.
Margarita, I feel like I'm in class. Where you can make apple cobbler, right?
With this really awesome granola topping. So we have a little bit of oats, flax seeds, and chia seeds, just for that like extra little crunch.
Nice.
I like to use this demerara sugar, which is more like bigger granules of sugar. And
So you get a little crunch.
yeah, and then I'm gonna use a little
Look
bit
at how
of...
cute these are. What's in there?
This is actually Tahitian vanilla. A little bit of maple. I also use a little bit of honey. I like to add salt to everything, so here we go. I also made this brown butter, because brown butter never hurt anyone. And I'm gonna actually slice a little bit of these apples. So now I'm gonna take some of this delicious brown butter. I'm actually gonna cook the apples in the brown butter. While Phillip's helping me with roasting the apples over the fire, I like adding a little bit of creme fraiche in the apples, so it gets like a little more
Tart kind of tang, that's and creaminess. Okay, so you sauteed them.
Yep, real quick, just to cook them slightly.
Yeah.
And now I'm gonna put this awesome granola over the top. And now we're gonna take it to an oven and let that crisp up. All right.
Oh my gosh, that looks so beautiful.
Yes.
So delicious.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. What an honor. I feel so spoiled. But please join me because eating this steak alone would be sad. Oh my gosh, Phillip. The simplicity of what you put on this steak, but you don't need to put anything else on it but salt and pepper and olive oil. Okay, when can I come over?
You don't have to leave.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys are amazing. Oh, they have such a sweet story, and I absolutely loved hanging out with them in their kitchen. If you want to know how to make that apple cobbler and find out about their newest restaurant in Montecito, you can go to ktla.com. Coming up, where's the best deep dish pizza in all of LA? Mark Mester takes us to his favorite spot. And then, does Levi like it? I know he loves grilled cheese, but does he love a pesto chicken grilled cheese? We'll find out. But first, I make a spring veggie pot pie that really is easy and it comes together in a snap. I love a good pot pie. It's so comforting, but for this one I thought I'd ditch the chicken and just do veggies. It really is so easy, and I made it all in one pot. Take a look. I happen to love a pot pie, mainly because there's pie dough involved. So this idea I came up with because I do love a chicken pot pie, But then I'm always thinking of ways to incorporate more veggies. So what if we do a spring veggie pot pie? And it all happens in one pot, and it's pretty simple. So I've gathered together some spring type vegetables like fennel, asparagus, peas, artichokes. And I'm gonna get started by prepping my asparagus. These are skinny little ones. I would go on the thinner side, and you know how to prep asparagus. This is how you know where the break should happen. You let it bend, this side trash, and then you measure it up with the rest. So we get rid of those, and I'm gonna roast these in the oven, and I'm gonna cut them into bite-sized pieces. These are gonna cook up pretty fast, and I want them to get a little bit of a char. That's why I'm gonna cook them in the oven first, and I'm also gonna do that with our fennel. And then, again, cut it into bite-sized pieces. And now, I'm gonna take frozen artichoke hearts. So I'm gonna put these on my sheet pan. I'm gonna just cook up the whole bag. And I'm gonna roast all of these together, 425 degrees in the oven. I'm gonna put some olive oil on all of these. And I have them on 3 different pans because I don't wanna crowd your pan. If you crowd your roasting pan, the veggies will steam and they won't brown. So some salt on each one, a little bit of pepper, and then just clean hands and get everything covered in the olive oil. All right, let's pop them in the oven. And we'll check on them in about 10 minutes. We want them to get golden brown and soft. So our veggies are roasting in the oven, and I'm gonna cook some other veggies over here on the stove. I have a 1/4 cup of butter that I'm gonna melt, and I'm also going to add a few swirls of olive oil. And I like to combine butter and olive oil because butter burns pretty quickly, but if you add olive oil, it doesn't, not as quickly anyway. So we're gonna add a 1/2 of a chopped onion to our pot. I have 3 stalks of celery, or 4, these are big boys, so 3 or 4 stalks of celery, 3 carrots, and this will be the base of our pot pie. A hefty pinch of salt to cook down our veggies. And now we just let them go on a medium-high heat. And do 2 cloves of garlic. So to create a roux, you've got to add some flour to the oil and the butter. So I'm gonna add 1/3 cup of flour. And we wanna cook the flour for a little bit, because if you don't cook the flour, you're gonna get that raw flour taste. And now we're gonna add our stock. So you could use vegetable broth, you could use chicken stock, whatever stock of choice. And I'm gonna add that to our pot and stir. And this will combine with the flour and then thicken our sauce. Now I'm gonna add 2 bay leaves, a little bit of fresh thyme, although it's in a jar, so technically that's misleading, but you could absolutely use fresh thyme. I'm gonna do a little bit that I had in the pantry, about a teaspoon. I'm gonna add my frozen peas. I'm going to now add my veggies that we cooked in the oven. So we're gonna add our fennel, our asparagus going in. I'm gonna add my artichoke hearts, but I'm gonna cut them in half because they're a little big. And because we don't have chicken to have a chicken pot pie, these artichokes really are meaty, and it's gonna give that feel that you want in a pot pie. You know a pot pie has a little creaminess to it. So I'm gonna add a little heavy cream. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna put in our tarragon. And this is why I made the sauce in a pot like this, a heavy Dutch oven, because our pot pie is gonna stay in here, and we're just gonna put a piece of pie crust right on top. Okay, here's what you do. You place it on top, and you cover, and it fits perfectly in my pot, right on top. Look at you guys. Done. Easy as pie. Easy as pot pie. Little bit of olive oil on top so it browns. And just use clean hands, rub it around there if you have a pastry brush. And then a little sprinkle of salt on top. If you have sea salt, that would look pretty. And then some pepper so it looks savory. And this bad boy is going in the oven, 425. We'll check it after 20 minutes. Everything's cooked within the pot pie mixture. We just want to brown the crust. Our spring veggie pot pie is out of the oven. It smells so good in the house, and you know it's done when the crust is brown. It was about 25 to 30 minutes in the oven. And now it's time to serve us up a helping of our pot pie. I think, to make it look prettier, I'm gonna put a little bit of chopped parsley, and since I have some dill here, I think even a little dill would be nice. Just to add a little extra green and color. I always think it brings the dish alive at the very end when you add a little bit of herbs. What do you say we taste this spring veggie pot pie? Oh, it's hot. That's so nice. Oh, that pot pie is so good. I didn't miss the chicken one bit, and I ate the leftovers for days. If you want the complete recipe, go to ktla.com. Coming up, Mark Mester is known for being Mr. Fit and all into healthy stuff, but when he has a cheat day, you want to know where he goes? I'll give you a hint. It's a pizza joint. Plus, does Levi like a pesto chicken grilled cheese? We'll find out. On to what may very well be the best deep dish pizza outside of Chicago. It's called Hollywood Pies, and that's where Mark Mester goes when he wants a slice. Take a look.
Hey Jess, how's it going? I wanted to show you what I think is the best pizza restaurant in all of Los Angeles. Now, if you watch the KTLA Morning News, you know I'm a very active guy. I like to surf, I like to be outdoors. That means I've got to eat healthy. But look, we've all got a guilty pleasure, and mine just happens to be Chicago deep dish pizza. And you can find the best pizza in the Pico Robertson district at this place right here. It's called Hollywood Pies. Let's go inside and check it out. All right, let's check in with the owner. This is Andre, the owner of Hollywood Pies. Good afternoon, how you doing?
Good afternoon.
All right, we want to know everything. When you started this place, why you started it, and most importantly, how do you get your pizzas to taste so good?
There was a major need for deep dish. California lacks deep dish.
Right.
So we decided, why not us? You know, let's engineer it, bring it to Los Angeles. We used to putz around the kitchen. We thought we're the best cooks in the world, and we mastered the recipe.
You've perfected it. Let's try it out. Can we make a pizza?
Absolutely.
All right, let's try it out. So we have our ingredients right here. The key to Chicago deep dish pizza, you're telling me, is the dough.
Like any good, solid building, you need to have a solid foundation. Solid foundation for a deep dish Chicago-style pie starts with the crust. Once you have the crust, then you need the sauce. Once you have the sauce, then you need the other ingredients. We really pride ourselves about our homemade sausage too.
Where does one go to pizza school in this country? Is it just a hands-on experience? No pun
Hands-on
intended?
experience, literally.
Right, literally. So this is the cheese we're using. Mozzarella?
Mozzarella.
How many slices are we talking?
We're gonna do 2.5 slices.
2.5 slices.
So you already have the cheese. We're gonna make one with a native style, one with a regular, sauce. And the regular sauce actually has lots of herbs and spices in there. This particular tomatoes are picked at just right time. So there's a lot of sweetness to it. It's sugar consistency. Once it hits a certain level, that's when they're picked. You just grab a bunch of tomatoes. I'll let you feel the tomatoes. They're like super.
Oh yeah, and I did wash my hands, Jess.
Cover all the cheese in there. So now that we have enough tomatoes in there, you literally scoop out some juice. So this is ready to go in the oven. So you're gonna use the same amount of tomato, cover all the ingredients because whatever is not covered will actually get burnt.
Yeah.
It's ready to go in the oven.
All right, we got our pizzas here, we got the oven. We set it to 450 degrees and simply set it right in.
Absolutely. For about 25 minutes and you're gonna have yourself a beautiful Chicago-style deep dish.
All right, let's set it in.
Do it. So we're gonna put some oregano and some pecorino romano cheese, as much as you like. Make it a little bit of and a drizzle of olive oil. Ready to go.
Let's do it. I grew up in Manhattan, so I have to eat it with my hands. I think it's illegal to use a fork and knife. But we'll give it a try right here. Here we go. It is excellent. You can really taste that tomato that you were talking about. I'm a big crust guy too, so it's okay to maybe eat it back end first too.
Absolutely.
This is the best part.
This is ready to go in the box. Bam.
All right.
Hey Mark, you like the pizza so much? Here's more than a few.
Oh, we'll take that. Thank you so much.
One more thing.
Oh, there's more.
Some tiramisu on the road.
All right. Jess, this is coming home to you. Thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Have a good one.
Mark, where's my pizza and my tiramisu? I'm still waiting, but I can see why you love Hollywood pies. Thanks so much for taking us there. And on to Levi Likes It. He loves grilled cheese, but will he love a pesto chicken grilled cheese? Let's find out. Levi, it's a grilled cheese with pesto and chicken and tomatoes. It's really good.
And ketchup in it.
If I bring some ketchup, will you try it?
Yeah.
How does it taste?
Good, delicious.
What?
Delicious.
But you like it with ketchup?
Uh-huh.
Yay, he likes it because every day I make him a grilled cheese sandwich for lunch, and now I can add this to the repertoire. If you want to know how to make it, go to ktla.com. That does it for us, and if you want to hear more of my conversation with Chef Phillip and Margarita, how they got started, and the crazy story of how they had to run their restaurant out of their one-bedroom apartment, go to our California Cooking Podcast. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us.